Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I believe is now our fourth Ventures and Values pitch competition, which comes out of the EVB and SRB core course here. As many of you know, this is a course that has developed over the last few years. It used to be a senior core course, now it's a sophomore core course. And the business project that you all have been participating in throughout the semester is something that was originated by Professor Jaworski, who's in the front row here. And it's great to see how this assignment has developed over the years through a lot of trial and error to something which we think pedagogically performs really well. It actually enables you all to think through a variety of challenges that come up in the business landscape. And as a teaching tool, I think we became very happy with how it has worked. But 3 years ago, Professor Jaworski said, you know, it's a real shame that every semester there's a few businesses, and this isn't a pedagogical exercise, but there's a few business proposals that really make a lot of sense, like they're pretty good. And isn't it a shame that students spend an entire semester thinking through the details of business and get excited about themselves, and it's something they need to walk away from, whereas they might actually have some interest in pursuing this as a real project. So we talked about this, thought about this, and it just happens that Jeff Reed, who oversees our Entrepreneurship Program here, overheard us, and he lives down the hallway. And we began this discussion with him, which has led to where we are today, which is to say, could we actually provide the money needed to get promising ideas off the ground? And could we also do this in a way that's actually a pedagogical exercise in its own right, where we can bring in great outside experts, people who are accomplished entrepreneurs, through our Entrepreneurship in Residence program to give feedback, to help evaluate projects, and it's something that we can all learn from as well. So I'm very happy how this has developed. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to actually provide funding to promising ideas. And we are going to have, we have 6 teams presenting today, all vying for the top 3 prizes, which is cash that can be used to start a business, and there's also some residual cash awards. We'll also have a People's Choice Award, which you, the audience members, get to vote on. And during the vote tabulation time, we will also have a short presentation from the people who run the Entrepreneurship Initiative here to make sure we know about all the resources they have on campus. So without further ado, I want to turn the podium over to David, who's going to be our MC for the afternoon. And I'll be setting around a sign-up sheet for attendance. And if you're a team presenting, you don't need to put your name on that, but otherwise the sheet will be making its way around, so you can go ahead and put your name on that. But thank you all for showing. Thank you, our esteemed judges, for being with us today. I hope this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope it's going to be educational. And I hope some of the teams that go home with money today actually get some great ideas on how they want to start and grow their business idea. So, David, the platform's yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Lang, and I'm the program manager here at Georgetown Entrepreneurship. I think we're going to have a really fun afternoon, full of some great teams pitching, and give away thousands of dollars worth of prize money. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Just by a quick show of hands, for how many people here is it their first time pitching? Okay, so we got a lot of folks. That's really exciting. I'm sure you might be a little nervous, but I want you to know that this is a safe space. This is all about learning, growing as entrepreneurs and as lifelong learners. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our judges. We have Jackie Abbey. Just give a little wave, Jackie. We have Jackie. She's great. She helps us out with our program as well. You'll hear more from her later on our Venture Forward podcast series. We have Lily Kwa, one of our wonderful entrepreneurs. We have Howard Eisenberg right there, and Jill Monk. So they're going to help you out today. They're going to give you guys some great pointers on your businesses and your presentations, and they're really wonderful, and we thank them so much for helping us out today. Just some general rules. You're going to have 5 minutes to give your pitch, 3 minutes for Q&A, and then we're going to have 1 minute transition. So we're going to keep it light and snappy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. These are on which you will be judged: feasibility, the team, values, and of course, impact, if the prize money is going to make a difference. I'm sure you've heard this before. And, well, we're going to get right into it then with working women. And I just ask that for teams, you be cognizant of turning this on and off, and when you are not speaking, turning it off. 1 second.
In 2020, it will have been 60 years since Rita Zekas was the first woman to graduate from the Georgetown University McDonough School of Business. That day, she made great strides for women in the business world around the world. But we still have a lot of work to do if we want to reach equality of men and women in business. This is evidenced by the fact that of entry-level positions held by women, only 48% are held by women. And as we work up to C-suite executives, a mere 22% are held by women. This is absolutely ridiculous, considering the fact that for the past 30 years, women have earned more bachelor's degrees than men. They've been staying in the workforce for just as long as men, and they've been negotiating their salaries at the same rate as men.
The Jesuit value we have decided to center our business around is community and diversity, specifically through our focus on gender diversity. In the workplace, gender diversity allows for a breadth of different experiences, ideas, and perspectives which are extremely valuable. With that being said, our business idea is called Working Women. We provide a platform for women in the workplace. Hi, I'm Liz.
I'm Sybil.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Annalise, and as we are working women, Emily's off working, but she's another important member of our team.
Our mission is that we are made by women to help women work their way to the top in any and every field. Our value proposition is threefold. The first part of our value proposition is about connection. We provide a platform to help women build relationships in the business world and set up times to meet in person. The second part of our value proposition is about empowerment. We provide a discussion page so that women can voice their struggles in the workplace and find support. We also host inspiring speakers. Additionally, the last part of our value proposition is about growth. We establish a platform to help women reach their goals in the workplace and work their way to the top.
Our business platform is primarily through a mobile app. Women can sign up for the platform for free, and once they do so, they will have access to creating a profile, which will include a picture, their current occupation, a distance feature for women nearby to see their interests, and a message feature for women to network with one another. Our app also features an online forum where women can ask and seek advice from other women on a number of different issues like salary negotiation. And finally, our app features an opportunity for companies to post open job opportunities and the requirements, and women can see reviews from other women who have worked there at the company, and they can message the company instantly about that open opportunity. And so our pricing structure is divided into 3 segments. The basic plan is free and includes the features previously mentioned on the first page. Our premium plan costs $25 a month and includes more access to entrepreneurship, weekly women opportunities in all fields, and monthly leadership speakers. And our company plan is $115 a month and allows companies to create a recruiting page where they can post different opportunities and to also create ads that are $2 to $5 cost per click. And so as a business made by women for women, our target audience falls into 3 segments: professional women looking to network, women looking to hire and recruit, and businesses owned by women. And we hope to establish both direct relationships and indirect relationships with both our network users and the network relations that our network users provide. And we hope to establish these relationships through our Working Women mobile app by partnering with large recruiting companies and startups that will help us promote our target audience. And so the expenses we expect to incur are through research and development, marketing, and the cost of our services. And in order to generate revenues, we will sell ad space to women-owned businesses, as well as from our premium and company account subscriptions.
We project a net loss in phase 1 due to the fact that we are a technology company. However, we project steady growth over the next 4 years, reaching about $460,000 in profit by phase 4. And if you would like to see more details, please see Appendix A. And upon analysis of competitors in the market, Working Women provides an advantage in 7 areas, 3 of which are offered by no other competitors, such as Girlboss, LinkedIn, and BumbleBiz.
Rita Zekas was a huge inspiration for us working women, and so we are asking you today for financial capital to help launch our app, as well as develop our app, and in order to continue her legacy and help women work their way to the top. Thank you.
Hi guys, nicely done. Quick question. So this is obviously a community-based platform, so the more people you get onto the platform, the more valuable it is. The challenge though is getting started. So how do you plan on getting your first participants on this so that there's actually content that's valuable?
So we actually plan on going through, a lot of the companies have women's networks now. In terms of the companies, we would plan on going through those women's networks and through connections that we have made over our years at Georgetown. And then in terms of users, we would start at Georgetown, not only in the business school, but across all of the schools, as every single field needs more women in those fields, and then move on to different college campuses from there, just because we are the future generation that's looking to recruit right now, eventually expanding hopefully into high schools.
You did a good job introducing your competition. My question is, what really sets you apart from Girlboss, LinkedIn, and BumbleBiz? What's your distinctive competence?
I'd say that while LinkedIn it has the goal of being an extremely professional network, the others, Girlboss and BumbleBiz, are somewhat of social networks as well. So I think our focus on the professional aspect is what really sets us apart. And
yeah, we also have the entrepreneurship page as well as the discussion page for women to find support from other women, which the other apps don't have.
This problem has existed for many, many, many years. Why do you think that you can change it? And in what category do you think you're going to be the most successful? Is it entry level? Is it at the top? Or is it somewhere in between?
So I think that right now is the perfect time to change it, because in our politically charged environment, women now more than ever are standing up and speaking out. And so not only would we have a huge customer base that's absolutely interested in getting women to the top, but we would also have a lot of support and advocates from individuals who are not women. And then in terms of which category, ideally we would be aiming for the higher level C-suite positions. More realistically, as of now, it would be middle management, just because we don't have that number of women in the middle management to bring them up to C-suite. But over time, it's a ripple effect. So as they get more into middle management, they'll get more into high level.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Nicely done, working women. Oops. Next up, we have student stubs. Yeah, it's not going to be up there.
It's not going to be
Nope.
there.
Here you go, brother.
We'll just talk about it.
Yeah. Everything was due to this stuff.
That's fine. Wait. Wait, Rohan, stand with us.
Stand on. Wait, you
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
in the middle.
I stand in the middle. Okay, sounds
I'm
good.
going to get to the corner.
Yeah, you go here. All right, we good?
Oh, you're doing a skit without the mics.
What?
Hey, skit with mics. Use mics.
Yes. All right, we good?
Yep, go.
Brian, have you found a ticket to tonight's game? I've been looking everywhere.
Nah, dude, I'd pay $25, but nobody is selling these tickets.
Rob, do you know anyone that's looking to go to the game tonight? I'd give my ticket away for $5.
Oh, sorry, I've asked all my friends and none of them can go tonight. So sorry.
I have the perfect solution. We are Student Stubs, an online marketplace connecting buyers and sellers of tickets. As you can see, there's a significant demand for ticket reselling. This is the class of 2022 group meet chat. We counted over 250 unique instances of this occurring. But oftentimes, this is a frantic and inefficient process that leaves both the buyer and seller dissatisfied. This is where Student Stubs comes in. Student Stubs uses an easy platform that allows student season ticket holders to individually list their tickets on our platform for free. Buyers can then view these listings by game and price through our simple UI. They can then make the decision as to what ticket to buy and student stubs will act as the intermediary to transfer the money and ticket to the buyer and seller, respectively.
So our value proposition comes in 4 key areas. The first and most important is that we're for students by students. We know the problems of our customers, so we think we're best addressed to solve those issues. Secondly, our platform allows users to operate at the click of a button, so it's incredibly convenient. Third of all, transparency. All the prices on our website are clear to buyers and sellers, so you know exactly what you're buying and at what price you can sell for. But fourth, we also hope to increase school spirit. We think that if our business is successful, we'd be able to increase the number of students attending games at Capital One Arena, bolstering that game day experience. And one thing you might be thinking about is our competitors, but we think Student Stubs is better addressed to solve some of these issues in a few key areas. The first of which is that we're entirely student focused. Unlike StubHub and the NCAA ticket website, which can't sell student season tickets, Student Stubs is focused entirely on this market. Secondly, in terms of convenience, unlike the current GroupMe system where you have to pray someone's going to respond to your message or you have to text a lot of people, we let users operate at the click of a button. Third, in terms of price transparency, unlike the current GroupMe system where 2 people can pay very different prices for the exact same ticket, Student Stubs has clear prices, so that kind of thing can't necessarily happen. But fourth and most importantly, we're seller friendly. Unlike every single one of our competitors, Student Stub charges no fee to sellers, and no fee to sellers, both in terms of time and money. Simply with the click of a button and at no charge whatsoever, you can list your ticket on our website and we do the work for you.
So the way we're making money is a flat 50-cent transaction fee on each ticket that actually goes through that will be incurred on the buyer. So as you can see, we think we can scale very quickly, going around like a 24% CAGR in the next 5 years. But we need your money because we have a fixed cost base that we need to develop the app first. So basically, even though we can scale very quickly, we need to get these fixed costs out of the way, and then after that, our variable costs are very low. After we hit maturity in the Georgetown market around year 4 or 5, we think we can expand to other schools with similar profiles. In other words, student season tickets for sale and legal transfer on a secondary market. Some examples are Villanova, Oregon, and the University of Notre Dame.
As Brian said, one of the integral parts of this is the upfront costs. And here we see where this will actually be going to. First, with a third place prize of $1,000, we will be able to do basic website development, as well as basic marketing, such as tabling in Red Square and flying around Georgetown. With the second place prize of $1,500, we'll be able to do more advanced website development, begin our mobile app development, as well as do more integrated marketing with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, as well as the on-campus marketing. Lastly, with the top prize, we'd be able to have the most impact, going both with integrated mobile app development with the advanced website development, while also having integrated marketing, which would include Instagram ads, Facebook ads, Georgetown on-campus advertising, as well as possible outside advertising, such as at Capital One Arena. In addition, this $5,000 grant would allow us to catapult into other markets as soon as possible.
We would like to conclude with student stubs in relation to Georgetown's Jesuit values, particularly a community in diversity. We wanted to connect students with Georgetown's rich athletic history, and doing so is going to increase accessibility and allow for a more diverse viewing experience. Ultimately, we want to make sure that the Capital One experience that Georgetown students experience is the best in college basketball, and doing so is going to start with filling every seat with Hoya fans. Thank you.
Well done. I'm glad you threw this last slide in because I was wondering where your Jesuit values were. Is this only for Georgetown events when you're focusing on Georgetown, or are you looking at professional sports and other activities as well?
So for now, we think focusing on Georgetown sports is the best move because there are other similar features that like Ticketmaster offers for like season tickets of normal games. The competitive advantage we have is that it doesn't make sense for them to try and get into the college market, but it makes sense for us to do it because we can authenticate that everyone's a student and they don't see like a revenue proposition from like expanding here, but we do. So it's kind of where we set ourselves apart.
So, sorry, to clarify, you're saying that you all uniquely are able to sell and transfer student tickets to other students, and you mentioned that StubHub and NCAA, they are not able to do that. Is that something that they could do? Let's say this is wildly successful, or do you have something unique that only you're able to do?
Sure. I'd answer that in two ways. I think number one, because we are students at the university, we have the unique ability, like with that georgetown.edu like email address, we can do that. But secondly, in terms of competitors like StubHub, for example, it doesn't necessarily make sense for them to enter that market because most of the way that they generate revenue is through like professional sporting events, like concerts, things like that. And our market, I think, is so niche for a competitor like StubHub to enter, which is why I think we're a lot better suited to address those issues.
In addition, one other point on that is that the student tickets that we are selling are allocated by Georgetown to students, so they wouldn't be able to be gotten by StubHub and wouldn't be able to transfer on a larger site. They would only be able to transfer like to Georgetown students.
Can you go back to your revenue slide? Okay, so in the first year, you're going to make $1,000, and the second year, $1,500?
Yeah, it's a little under 1,000, a little under 1,600. Sorry, 1,500.
So with revenues like that, is it worth it?
Yeah, that's a really good question that we got in class too. The way we see it is the longer you hold this business, the better, right? Like the beautiful thing is that as you scale, there are so few variable costs that you have to incur, so your margins just get better and better continuously. So the way we see it is like, okay, we spend like $4,000 on app development, marketing, everything in the beginning, and then afterwards, we kind of like sit back, make improvements to our system, and make money, right? Like, that's...
But on year 5, you're at $3,000.
Yeah, so $3,000 is our revenue, but our costs are also like $200, $300, right? And then that's where we start expanding to other schools. So after we hit maturity in like the 4 or 5 years. And we think that as you go like to bigger schools, they're obviously bigger markets. So if we have 7,000 students and we can make like, I don't know, $3,000 a year here, if you expand to a school that has 26,000 students, what does your market there look like? A lot bigger.
Thank you so much, Student Stubbs. Up next, we have Raw LLC. Turn it on.
Oh wait, Connor. Hey, welcome into our cloud class. Here today. Pretty good. Yeah, I think you're really gonna like this product. You wanna try that on? I'd love to. Thank you. How's that Michelin fitting? Not too bad. Looks pretty sharp overall. Yeah. Do you mind modeling for us? We'll give you 5% off any clothes you buy here. Oh, sure. That sounds great. It's great. Just take a photo.
That looks great. You can take this coupon. Thank you for being a raw model.
With Clyde's information, opinions, and photos, the customers get a real, authentic view of the wardrobe, completely untouched.
I'm Mairead.
I'm Will. I'm Sean. I'm Clyde. I'm Connor.
And I'm Mateo, and we are Raw Ads. And unfortunately, not every company takes honesty as seriously as we do. We found these photos on popular online shopping sites like Amazon Prime, Revolve, Lulu's, and as you can see, they are heavily edited and create ludicrous body expectations for men and women alike.
But the photos aren't the only thing that's misleading. Today, companies are engaging in what's known as vanity sizing, where they're actually marking down the sizes of clothes to make you feel like you can fit in a smaller size than you truly are. This means that someone who's really a size 4 could be wearing a size 0 and have no idea what their actual size is. So what is the true size? They have no idea. This makes online shopping a nightmare.
And as you can tell, the average American woman is not an airbrushed size 0 with a 32-inch waist.
And unfortunately, the problem Mairead outlines has real concrete negative effects in society. As you can see from these stats, they demonstrate the widespread nature of these issues. These dishonest ads can contribute to eating disorders, depression, and affect mental health negatively as a whole. Nowadays, companies put forth an unhealthy, unattainable standard through their models and misleading sizing. Here at Raw Ads, we want to bring trust back. We believe in one number and one number only, and that is 100% raw honesty. We are bringing trust back to fashion.
And so our mission is really rooted in that trust, and we really want to emphasize that first sentence, and that's that Raw is really creating a community where issues of body image are not shameful and they're openly discussed and there's no fear surrounding that. And additionally, we want to make sure that the customers in the fashion industry feel that they can value themselves and that they are not being taken advantage of. And so these are really rooted in our two values of honesty and self-worth. Honesty in terms of bringing honesty back to the fashion industry, and then self-worth in terms of that's what we want to inspire in our customers. And that all stems from the Georgetown values of cura personalis and respect for the whole person.
So to achieve these goals, we're going to operate in two sectors. So first, as you guys saw with my interaction in the beginning, we're going to have pop-ups on college campuses, allowing our customers to try on clothes, take photos of them, and get their opinions and sizing. So with this information and raw, unedited photos, they're going to be the basis of our online marketing through our website and social media. And really, our website is going to serve as a database for customers to truly understand how real clothes fit on real people. So going into our partners, we're an ethically minded advertising company, so we're looking for ethically minded partners who may not have the resources to really commit to the level of advertising that we're doing. But because we're going to have multiple partners at each pop-up, we're going to be able to charge significantly less, only a small base cost per hour, and then percent of purchases, and then our online marketing as well. So just to re-emphasize our value, we are really providing our partners with unique access to their target market of young, conscious consumers, and associating them with our positive message of spreading positive body image. And then for our customers, they're getting a chance to try on clothes that they wouldn't otherwise have, and through our online database, truly understanding how real clothes will fit real people.
Judges, your financial help is vital to the future of our company. With the prize money, we would spend almost $2,000 on our initial fixed cost, which include running a website for a year and our fixed pop-up materials. The rest of our money would go toward our future growth, which would include using social media advertising to increase brand awareness, driving more people to our site, and also expanding to other college campuses across the nation.
So we really believe that we're the team for the job. Body image is a very complex issue, but as college students, we really think we can reach out and make a significant impact in the clothing world. So thank you guys.
Could you talk a little bit about your business model and, for example, the key cost drivers around what will drive expenses? For example, how do you anticipate approaching measuring different pieces of clothing, be it jeans, and then given the fact that, for example, for women, there's many different designers, many different styles. How are you thinking through that?
Yeah, so that's really centered around our interactions at the pop-ups, right? So we're going to be talking to these models and getting their sizing information. So one thing that we didn't really go into in our initial example was getting dimensions and whatever the model would be comfortable with sharing. So while like various brands, like Mairead talked about, their like number size will be different, like all across the board. We're hoping that our models will, on our online database, see people who may look similar to them or have similar dimensions, and that would in turn help them figure out their sizing.
So just to walk me through this for a second, so you're imagining a female student coming in and letting somebody take her measurements?
Okay, as the female. So the whole idea basically is just various brands. You know, I'm a short person, I can fit into certain jeans, and other jeans, they're gonna go down to the floor on me. So I go into the pop-up, I try things on, it doesn't fit, it fits, whatever. If I'm comfortable, there's a form of consent. I'm comfortable, I give my consent to, these are my measurements, you can put it on the site. There's a picture of me from the neck down. I don't have to put my name on it, per se. Me, person X with 5'3" and whatever dimensions. So I'm on the website, and I can describe the fit, I can describe the durability of the clothes, how they look, what have you. And then basically with that, that's the whole point of like, you have the consent, you're comfortable giving that information, and then that's how we create the kind of database. Like that's the main emphasis of the model, is that people can then go online, you know, filter, okay, I need someone with a size 32 waist, I need someone who's 6 feet tall. And you can go and kind of filter through like people who fit the same clothes as I do, regardless of the brand, or maybe you can specify a certain brand, so that way, yeah.
So you have companies like Rent the Runway who are doing, I think the mission is great, but you have companies like Rent the Run right now who will allow individuals to post their own pictures and give you that sense. There's also, I think, a company called TrueFit that a lot of retailers can purchase to say this is what the real size is. How would you compete against that?
Yeah, so I can answer this. I think in general, we've identified a need, like a demand, because consumers are becoming more like self-aware and can sort of see through the lies that companies are giving them. Obviously, Rent the Runway is a good example of someone who lets people try on. But I think what we bring is we bring the sort of the commitment to honesty and transparency and like the ethically sort of driven side to business. And I think that's where we sort of separate ourselves. And also on the other hand, we like collaborate with small businesses, while Rent the Runway might be more of like a designer brand thing. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Party Monkeys. Is that it? There we are, Party Monkey. One monkey. Just pass off to them. Clicker.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucia, and I love my birthday, but recently I had to spend 2 hours, 3 Uber rides, and go to 4 different stores to collect all the stuff for my party. I show up at the restaurant 30 minutes early for this reservation that was impossible to get, and then they won't accept the cake that I got because they have a policy about not accepting outside food. And this is how Party Monkey was born.
So this is our team, and I'm Louise, and we're here to discuss 3 main problems that come along with planning a great celebration, and that's time, effort, and coordination.
So the time problem is that most people don't start planning a party until the week of, but then it takes an hour or even 2 hours to plan this party, and we're busy, and I don't have 2 hours in the next week I want to spend planning my friend's party.
Totally, Lucia, and the effort that goes into planning a great party is incredible. So we find that 70% of our peers have to take at least 2 Ubers to collect all the supplies that they need. So that's ranging from like your candles, from your balloons, to everything you need to set up a great party. They find that they go to 2 stores or 3 stores, or some more than 3. And then also the coordination. We found that 53% of our peers have to coordinate with up to 3 to 5 people. And on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being extremely stressful, we found that the average answer is around 3 into coordinating an event. And so everyone likes to work hard, play hard, right? But what if we told you that you didn't have to work hard at all?
So the solution is Party Monkey. It's a system where you can invite and collaborate with your friends, and then you tell us, the Party Monkeys, what supplies you want. It can be as specific as I want the 9-inch carrot cake from Baked and Wired, that's all I'll eat, or get me the cheapest chocolate cake at Safeway, I don't care. And then you tell us if you want us to make a restaurant reservation for you, if you need a place that has a private room, if you have a big group, if you want the lighting to be dim or bright or fun or music, whatever, we'll take care of that. Or we could just bring the supplies to your home, and then we will be the ones who show up 30 minutes early and set it all up so you don't have to go alone, and then you just show up with your friends and enjoy your party because we really want to focus on partnering with local businesses, and we think that's how a lot of future revenue could come in. And then if we were to get the grand prize of $5,000, we could also expand our transportation methods to some scooters to increase efficiency of deliveries and planning, in addition to the car that we already use. And then also just start looking towards our grand goal of the complex app development. We think that this is the first step in our hopefully long and lucrative journey of partnering with local businesses, adding more complex features, and ultimately expanding geographically into other customer segments like parents who get stressed when their 5-year-old has a birthday but they have 3 other kids, and we think that there's a lot of demand in a lot of other places. So if you have any further questions.
We're going to invite up the rest of our team.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Nice job. How do you make money?
All right. So glad you asked. So
Straight man.
the costs that we expect are the costs that we expect are future app generation, advertising, the Party Monkey salaries, and transportation. We eventually believe that we'll get revenue from the service fee, the advertising on the app, and revenue from partners. So we think a lot of our costs can actually be, our variable costs can be covered by the fees that we have. So we based all of our numbers off of one of our like sort of close competitors, Postmates. They just deliver food from restaurants, but they have a similar idea where on the app you can order things and it's delivered and you're paying for the convenience. And so they have a $5 minimum delivery charge, but we care about our employees and our Party Monkeys, so 80% of that, just like Postmates, actually goes to the employee, and then 20% goes to the company overall. 100% of the tips go to the Party Monkeys because they're contract laborers. And then there's a 9 to 12% customary convenience fee based on the size and complexity of the order, and this is very common throughout Postmates, Uber Eats, GoPuff. So this model obviously works. Those companies are very successful. They make money. So if there's we also think, the birthday industry, it's a $38 billion industry. 31% of people aren't even willing to travel half a mile to pick up their own food, and people are willing to pay 11% more for every added layer of convenience. So we think that it's totally a reasonable pricing structure that people will be willing to pay based on experience from competitors and this data, and we think it'll also be lucrative. Even in the Georgetown community with students, we have that $20 to $30 was sort of the cap that people were willing to spend on a friend's birthday, but people were willing to spend $50 on their own, and we think those numbers would be higher for parents paying for their kid's birthday, and so we think that it would be a big issue.
When you think about the vision for the business and how you'd scale this, so that was perhaps less labor intensive, any key takeaways in the last couple minutes, last couple seconds?
In terms of the service, the delivery service part of it, or?
The whole business. How would you scale the business?
So at first, we would focus on the Georgetown community. That's what we're doing right now, focusing on the Georgetown community. We wouldn't want to have a ton of inventory, and obviously for some things we couldn't, because you're not going to keep a cake in a warehouse for 4 days before you deliver it. So some things do need to be picked up the day of, but basic things that we expect people to want at common parties, like balloons and such, we could actually just have those on hand to limit the amount of trips that you have to go to all the different stores, because we did see that that was a problem with collecting the party supplies. And then we think that the DMV area would be our next sort of geographic expansion. So to GW, to American, to parents in the area who want to plan parties for their smaller teenage children. And then, once we had an app up and running,
And
really.
And also, my mom would be able to go through Party Monkey and to plan the event for me on my behalf, which is something really neat, so that someone who's not even present could still give that someone, a great celebration from afar.
Next, we have Common Space. Okay. Mics and clicker.
Thank you. Do you have one? Oh. Yeah, we can get the mic. Lindsay.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Galacco, and today we're going to be discussing an issue that's really close to my heart. When I was in 7th grade, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is an autoimmune disorder that has placed me on immunosuppressants for as long as I can remember, virtually wiping my immune system useless. Because of this, when things such as the common cold or the freshman plague or the flu come around, I get hit, and I get hit hard, to the point where I could end up hospitalized or even have to take a semester off. Because of this, it's essential that my living area is clean. This year, I'm fortunate enough to live with 3 of my closest friends in an apartment, but with that, not everyone's been contributing to their cleaning. Time and time again, I have been put at risk. My apartment has become a breeding ground for germs and pests. In fact, last night at 8 p.m., I found another mouse in my apartment. And while I'd love to clean my apartment all by myself, quite frankly, I'm a busy college student, and I really don't think the onus should be just on me. We tried a chore chart, but with that, there's no physical reminder, and not everyone was contributing. I needed a solution, and quite honestly, I need it now, and that's where my teammates come in.
Hi, I'm Trisha. I'm Christine.
I'm Sunil. I'm Alex.
And this is Common Space.
From 2002 to 2012, we've seen an increase in 6.6% of the amount of individuals who live with roommates in the U.S., and we only expect to see this number rise with the rising cost of living. So, why is this relevant? Well, the survey found that out of 1,500 individuals who have roommates, 42% of them reported fighting. 42%. And after seeing this statistic and hearing Lindsay's story, our team realized that something needed to be done. And that is why we created Common Space.
So, our solution to this problem is Common Space. So Common Space is an app that our team has been developing specifically targeted towards all types of roommates, whether they be living in a dorm, apartment, or household. So the key features of our app are the following. So first and foremost, it's point-based task and chore assignment. So for example, if I take out the trash, I get 500 points. If my roommate cleans the whole apartment, they get 1,000 points. Roommates are also able to coordinate their schedules with each other and then organize different things like buying groceries or toiletries. So the real benefit of our app we see is creating a more friendly and communicative environment while at the same time introducing efficiency to the household. You know, as Lindsay talked about, that's something we all value with very busy schedules. So taking a deeper dive into our app, this slide really shows what we envision the Common Space home screen to look like. As you can see at the top, we have different chores like taking out the trash or vacuuming. And then below that, we have a scoreboard to hold roommates accountable, have them compete with each other so they can actually do these chores. On the next slide, the next screen, we have an example of financial obligations. So if a roommate, like for example, if I go to Safeway, I buy $60 worth of groceries, I can charge for my roommates and I can post how much they owe me. And then finally, you know, physical chore charts, you can only see them in your apartment. They're very inconvenient. Common Space provides an aspect of convenience. If you're in class, you see at the tip of your fingers, oh, I have to stop at Wisey's, grab some toilet paper, then you can just go there instead of having to go back in your apartment and then go back to the store.
At Common Space, we take pride in our corporate mission and our value proposition. We strive to enable roommates to foster a peaceful living environment, incorporating collaboration skills and reducing inefficiencies within the home. We believe this aligns directly with Georgetown's mission of Hoyas for Others and men and women for others, as well as Georgetown's residential living mission of creating comfortable, inclusive communities that foster formation and engagement. We designed our app to be ideal for all types of roommates. Whether you're our target market of college students, millennials, or coworkers, Common Space has it all.
Our revenue generation is twofold. We'll be using in-app banner advertising through popular services like grocery delivery services, home care, cleaning, and kitchen products. In addition, we'll be incorporating Venmo and Google Calendar into our platform to be very convenient for our users, as many of our target demographic of young professionals are already very familiar with these platforms. We have estimated our upfront cost to be $43,200, and while this is pretty heavy upfront, Trish is going to discuss how today can be pivotal in making Common Space have a future.
So we believe the target funding of $5,000 will be significant in allowing us to begin funding for beta testing and launching our app within the greater Georgetown community. So we are Common Space. We are living together made simple. Thank you, and now we'd like to open the floor to questions.
Just a quick, so would you guys use this with your roommates right now?
Yes, 100%. I know that just from people I've been talking to, if you just start on the roommate talk, it kind of just gets everyone going. And for me, it's hard because I am someone who like prides myself on a clean room. But when I come home at 1 in the morning and my kitchen has just a film of gunk on it, and all I want to do is go to bed or eat dinner, it's kind of hard to use the kitchen when it's just messy and everything is dirty. And also, for example, my roommate a couple weeks ago had a really bad cold, didn't wash down anything, doesn't use soap when she washes dishes. So when you have the communal aspect of living in an apartment and you're now using that same fork, like you're gonna catch that as well.
So in that instance, would you then do the chore and get the points, or would you send a reminder? It seems like it's almost like a passive-aggressive way to be having the same conversations with your roommates.
Yes. So I've had the same like roommate conversation. My roommate's also the RA, so we like try to play it off as like, oh, we have to do this for the RA thing. Like we have to have this roommate agreement. But something that we've talked about is the fact that it's really easy when it's not like a physical reminder that you can kind of slack off and be like, oh, it's not my responsibility. And we have like kind of a thing one of my friends taught me is that you put in 125% of an effort. So you put in your effort for your work, that's your 100%, and then you put in 25% for the common good.
I think also it addresses the problem before it happens. So like, you know, on the weekend, roommates plan out the different chores they're gonna do throughout the week, rather than, you know, passive aggressively arguing with each other after it happens. So I think it really kind of avoids that issue altogether.
What do you consider competition?
So I would say like our direct competitors would be, for example, like Splitwise would be one of our direct competitors for like coordinating financial obligations. As well as I would say like Google Calendar, obviously it's very big on within Georgetown, the Georgetown community. Like everyone's like, oh, like let's just coordinate this on like GCal. But I think that our app like really differentiates ourselves because we combine all of these aspects into one to make it a collaborative platform for all of the like every possible thing that you can imagine for roommates that could possibly need.
In addition, there are a lot of platforms that help with organization on a personal level, and then there are also ones within homes that will, like, for example, do, there's one called Any Grocery, and that'll coordinate grocery tasks, but Common Space kind of incorporates that to do among roommates in one home, but also incorporates grocery lists, schedules, calendars, and chore tasks. So it's kind of like an all-in-one single destination for you guys.
Last but not least, we have Brains and Brawn. There we go. Mike's here. Do you guys have videos?
Yeah, we have two videos.
See how that goes. I tested them and we'll see.
Right, sweet. Don, you want to stand over here and pop one out and go to the other? Sure.
All right, so we're Brains and Brawn. We're happy to be here today. So what we're going to tell you first is our team, what our business model is, our revenue breakdown, and then how we think that we're an ethical company, and then our ask to you guys. So my name's John. I bring some entrepreneurship experience and accounting experience to the group.
My name is Pablo. I bring retail customer service to the table.
I'm Steven. I've worked in a managerial company before, so I bring technical and analytical experience.
And Colton couldn't be here today, but this was really, he's the one who got the show on the road for this, but he's going to introduce himself here, hopefully. All right, well, anyways, he's just going to say that. Oh.
Hey everyone, I'm Colton. I pretty much grew up with a hammer and screwdriver in my hands, and for the last 7 summers, I've worked for my family's cabinet manufacturing company. I've worked in houses and apartments learning home maintenance skills, and was even a team leader for the past 2 summers. So I'm going to help lead operations and employee training at Brains and Brawn.
Thanks, Colton. Now, to the business model. So Brains and Brawn focuses on home repair and maintenance. So we provide a monthly subscription in where on a monthly basis we have home repair specialists who are students from the Georgetown community come into people's homes, and they'll be doing services such as replacing light bulbs, changing air filters every 3 months, changing batteries, smoke alarm batteries every 6 months, and fixing minor plumbing issues. So as for the timeline, the way it's going to look is that we're going to have our customers request in-home consultations, and then our specialists will agree on a personalized home checklist. And then each month we'll visit the home, we'll decide on what it is that they need to accomplish in the home and repair. Then we'll gather the necessary parts. Next, the specialist will fix the home, and then they'll complete the checklist, in which case the customer pays for the service.
Yeah, so looking at our revenue breakdown, we see 3 main sources of income for the company. The first being through our monthly subscription-based service, in which we'll charge $149 per month per client for any residence up to 3,500 square feet. Additionally, for any extra work that a client may want, we will charge $50 an hour. This will include things outside of the normal scope of activities or any time outside of the normal monthly period. And then finally, for any larger jobs, such as home construction, we can hire and supervise a contractor and upcharge you by 20% for this service. Looking at our target market, we're looking to begin here in Georgetown because we think it's a great community to start in, and it fits well with our part-time student employees. Georgetown is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the country, so we think that the customer base here will have a disposable income that will be good to tap into here, and that the customers will be willing to pay for this service without having to do the services themselves on their own.
So what Colton was going to say there was that he has worked the last few summers in construction, helping pay for college, and so Pablo's going to tell you about how we think that we can help students at Georgetown.
Yeah, so we know that students are under stress all the time at Georgetown, so we want to alleviate that stress. We want to make sure that they're getting the right compensation, especially since many of them are paying tuition. So we want to make sure that they have adequate hourly compensation, adequate bonuses when they complete the job, and also money set aside for their tuition expenses, as well as their health resources on campus.
Looking at our future of Brains and Brawn, we are first seeking to grow to 80 homes here in Georgetown community. These 80 homes will account to 20 homes, or 20 days of working per month with 4 houses visited each day. After we can reach this goal, we're going to look to hire a full-time employee, and after this, we'll seek to expand even further out into the DMV area and hire more full-time employees.
So what we're asking from you today is a helping hand put in touch with the local community, so homeowners and property managers. And then what the funds would go towards is contractor's license, insurance, and some other setup things like tools and supplies to get the business going. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Good presentation. My question is, if you are focusing on the very high-end market of Georgetown, what is the evidence that suggests that they would turn to non-professionals to come in and fix their home?
Yeah, so we think that beginning, like our value proposition is that we're gonna have, the service that we have is like changing light bulbs, replacing air filters and things like that, that we think actually requires a fairly low skill, and then through the same person coming every day to your home, and the fact that we give good wages to students and things like that, that we're gonna foster a relationship and a trust with each other, that then leads to that 20% contractor's fee, putting them in touch for bigger home projects, which is a big source of revenue.
What about how you're going to warranty your workmanship? I saw you you covered insurance, which is great.
Yeah, so as for marketing, because we're starting out in the Georgetown community, we think that a great thing to access would be seniors and older students that are moving off campus through contacting them and advertising to get in contact with the local homeowners. We think that just through advertising here, through posters and flyers on campus, we think that'd be a great way to get in touch with the owners of the residences. And yeah, so as for going forwards with that, we'll look to just, and as for part of our ask too is funds that will go towards marketing and reaching out to homeowners in the area.
Who do you think your competitors are, and or do you know anything about Georgetown Village?
We don't know about Georgetown Village, but we do know about My Hassle-Free Home, which we found about after our first presentation. And a couple of my buddies actually in the audience said that they've had it's the same thing that somebody comes to your home every month, but they've had credit card information stolen and possessions from their home. And so we think because it's students at Georgetown, we can hold them to a higher standard and accountability than people who are just randomly hired but still come to your home. I can take it. So what we think is that once we have the customers set up, and since it's a subscription service, that obviously we hope to retain customers, and so that once we graduate, that then we can hire some students who say seniors who have gone through the program and have been trained and went from inspectors to then people actually doing it, and put them in more management positions and just naturally fill those roles as we expand.
And we'll also target different landlords within the Georgetown community. So we'll build those relationships with the homeowners, in which case it'll be sustainable for the long term.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, folks, that's all the presentations we have for today. Now we're going to move on to the People's Choice Award. All you have to do is text the number of your choice, so 1 through 6, to this number, 512-865-4743. So I'll just give you a moment to do that. And please, just the number, not the name of the company. Just the number is sufficient. We'll do 10 more seconds. Great. So I'd like to just talk a little bit more about Georgetown Entrepreneurship while we're tabulating the votes. So Georgetown Entrepreneurship, as you know, is based here in the McDonough School of Business, but we operate across campus. We, indiscriminate of any school major, we work with undergraduates, with graduates, alumni, and our greater Georgetown community, or Washington, D.C. community. We have a number of events coming up that I'd like to highlight right now. We have our spring rocket pitch. Maybe some of you came to our fall rocket pitch. It's just an elevator style pitch, so 2-minute pitches. And we have roughly 30 teams compete. So this is going to be in the spring. This is in late January, and you'll find signups for that coming out in, I suppose, early January, right when y'all get back from school. Our social impact pitch is February 27th. This might be pursuant to you guys because of the ethical values in business. It's a similar idea. We go for businesses that have a social component to them, and that's going to be in late February. And then coming up on March 3rd, Tuesday, March 3rd, we have our Startup Career Fair, which is going to be really exciting. There's going to be job opportunities, internship opportunities from a variety of startups and high-growth companies here in DC. So we're really excited about that. It was a great success last year, so we hope to build on that this year. And then March and April, we have our Georgetown Entrepreneurship Challenge. This is one of our biggest competitions all year. And each school, each college, so McDonough, SFS, et cetera, will have their own competition, and each competition will produce a finalist, and then we'll have in April one big competition with 8 finalists from the 8 different schools, and that's for That's for anyone, any team could apply, but I think that you do need to have, it's for companies that are a bit more further along, where Rocket Pitch might be for an idea stage. This one's going to be more for companies that have their minimum viable product and are a bit more tried and true. Some other opportunities you might be interested in. It is a bit too late this year for the first one, but the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Internship Experience. This is where we match students, undergraduate students, with a high-growth company here in DC for a 10-week paid internship over the summer with housing provided by the initiative on campus. And will also comes with a weekly residential experience during the internship and a weekly skills workshop the spring semester prior. So we're really excited about that. This is the first year we're doing it, so it's going to be hopefully a really wonderful experience, hopefully be our signature internship program. But we also have the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Summer Internship Program, which is slightly different. You're also matched with a company, but it's one of our Venture Lab companies, which Kelly will talk more about in a bit. And students work part-time for their Venture Lab company and part-time for the initiative, and that's also a paid internship. And then last but not least, we have our Entrepreneurship Minor and Fellows program. Obviously, I think all of you are business students, so you would be, of course, eligible for the minor. It's 4 courses. It can be taken in over the course of 4 semesters. It's a great way to really hone your entrepreneurial skills. We've had rave reviews from students who've gone through the program. We've had people from all walks of life, from CEOs to startup founders, telling us that they always look for students to hire who have those entrepreneurial skills, regardless of what you want to go into, whether that's finance, consulting, doesn't matter. Entrepreneurship will help you. So those are some of the great things that we're offering. You can also look online at eship.georgetown.edu, or you can email me, DL1077. It's my net ID, so thanks so much. Oh, also, Chalk Talks. This is weekly mentorship, so we have like office hours in room 310, 5 to 6:30 with some of our entrepreneurs and residents, 2 of whom are sitting up there. So that's always wonderful, and you can come to them with any ideas, anything on your mind about your business, anything from ideas to really more fleshed out things. So that's for you. And then we're going to have Kelly talking a bit about the Venture Lab. Kelly. Of course.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly O'Malley, and I am the manager of the Georgetown Venture Lab. Show of hands, how many of you have been to the Venture Lab? So not many. How many of you have heard of the Venture Lab? Okay, great. So that's a great jumping off point. For those of you that aren't familiar, the Georgetown Venture Lab is a co-working space out of WeWork in downtown DC, specifically for Georgetown entrepreneurs. We primarily serve alumni, which hopefully you guys will all be at some point. And really we are started as a co-working space that has the inherent community of everyone is affiliated with Georgetown. But I am bringing a bit more of an accelerator or incubator mindset. So we work with roughly 30 entrepreneurs and residents, really get to know the ventures that are working out of our lab. Right now there's 39 companies and almost 90 individuals who work out of this space. Everything from nonprofits to small consultancies to stealth mode startups. We really try and serve everyone on their entrepreneurial journey and help map out goals and milestones along with them so that we can help them achieve their goals. And as you guys well know, there are a lot of resources should you want to start your own business when you're a student at the university, and we're trying to solve the gap for when you're an alum and you don't have a lot of those resources at your disposal when you're trying to start your own business. One exciting thing that we're working on right now is an internship program, which actually one of your classmates, Robert, is heading up, so I'll let him speak about that.
Awesome, yeah. So I've been interning with the Georgetown Venture Lab this past semester and just really enjoyed both the space being downtown, really right next to the White House, right next to the Washington Monument, as well as the community having like an actual floor of people, all Georgetown people who understand what Georgetown is, as well as all trying to create new companies that are changing some aspect of the way the world works. So I really have seen these companies interact with the founders and feel like they're incredible people, but they don't have a lot of contact with the undergraduate population. So this spring, we're actually launching an internship where undergrads can partner and intern with these specific companies at the lab. So they'll be able to go experience the really cool location as well as community of startups while also interning. We have both paid, unpaid, and stipend internships with these companies and really gain incredible entrepreneurial experience as well as really great hard skills. We have internships ranging from software, engineering, to marketing, finance, and accounting. And so there's lots of different skills which people will be able to hone through this internship and this partnership as well. So the applications are live right now. They're due December 12th, and throughout the winter break period, we'll be matching people with companies. In the spring, we will have interns starting. So yeah, if you're interested, the applications will be up on the Georgetown Entrepreneurship website, as well as they'll be in all the emails coming out, the business bugle, the recruiting, the prospect from Dean Schatz, as well as the entrepreneurship emails. So if you're interested, apply. It's a great opportunity.
And if you're interested in learning more about the internship opportunities, anything that's going on at the lab, or even coming to see it, we have groups of students come almost every week. Reach out to me. My net ID is KO531. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kelly. Our esteemed judge, Jackie Abbey, has something to say about our wonderful podcast that she produces. So Jackie, please enlighten us.
If you enjoyed the pitches today, as I certainly did, and wonder what it takes to launch one of these companies, you will love Venture Forward. I'm Jackie Abbey, and I have the great pleasure of hosting this podcast that's dedicated to Georgetown entrepreneurs who dare to launch an enterprise. We look at nonprofits, for-profits, those companies for which the profits are just out of reach, and those companies that have profited exponentially, sometimes to the surprise of the CEO. Just last week, I was talking to a CEO who built his company, a healthcare software company, on a kitchen table in a one-room office right over Dixie Liquors. He and his team worked there for no less than 2 years. They grew the company. They moved out of the Dixie Liquors loft. They grew it some more. And 6 years ago, he sold the company for millions and millions of dollars. He could donate a building to Georgetown and retire, but he's actually still working at the company because he loves the work he does so much. On the podcast, we interview seasoned CEOs like that. We interview very young alumni whose companies are just taking off, and we interview students. It actually all started with students. We have a whole season dedicated to student entrepreneurs who've competed at Bark Tank. And we tell their stories, what it's like to start the company, what are the bumps that they trip over along the way, and how do they keep going. So, how many of you have iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify? Okay, I encourage you to take out your phones, search Venture Forward on one of those two, and subscribe. I think you'll be glad you did.
Thank you so much, Jackie. So that about brings us to the end of our afternoon today. We're going to be coming out with the awards in just a moment. We are going to have 4 awards today: first place, second place, third place, and also the People's Choice Award. So that should be just about done, and we're going to do that presentation shortly. And oh, there they are. All right, let's do the People's Choice Award first. Is that what we have?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Alrighty. So, your People's Choice Award winner is Raw. It's $250. And come up here and take a picture.
Now, I will say there's extensive debate amongst the judges. This was I think, there are many close calls, many back and forths, a lot of enthusiasm for many of the different teams in trying to eke out points back and forth. We even had went down to the wire, kept on going back and forth. So we have for
third place, we have student stubs. Yeah, there we go. With some edits. Nice.
Congratulations.
All right. Wonderful. In second place, we have, unfortunately, they can't all be here right now. They have class, but we do have working women. All right? Didn't one of you? Some not class? No. Oh, they're here. Thank you, ladies. And now finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. First place with $6,000 is Common Space. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for being such wonderful students. On behalf of the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Initiative, Professor English and everyone at GISME, I would like to thank you all again. Come see us some other time. We have plenty of opportunities for you. Have a good day. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you. And just a final word of thanks to David, to the team at the Entrepreneurship Initiative. Thanks to our judges. And this was, I think, the closest decision we've ever had in the 4 years. All the teams did very well. And don't be discouraged if you didn't end up with the prize, but know that we are, regardless of whether you decide to work with the money or do something on your own, you have a resource here on campus with the Entrepreneurship Initiative to get your ideas off the ground.
You're all winners to us.